What's good, everyone? CapiTanceTV here, and today we're going to talk about which Bethesda games are going to be exclusive to Xbox. But before we begin, be sure to drop a like on the video and don't forget to subscribe. And if you've already done those things, a big thank you to you. Also, we're trying something new with the mic position. If it's weird, if it doesn't work, if you can't hear me, let me know. Let's get started. So a little over a week ago, Xbox bought Zenimax Media, and that little tiny nugget of news blew the doors off the internet, and people were speculating which of the Bethesda IPs are gonna be Xbox exclusives. There are those that believe that since these Bethesda games have been multi-platform in the past, that Xbox will keep them that way, much how they did with Minecraft. There are also those that believe that since Xbox paid $7.5 billion, and I said billion dollars, that all of these games will be first party exclusive to Xbox. Now, both arguments make great points, but where does that leave me? As I was thinking about it, I agree with Phil Spencer. It's always best to agree with Phil Spencer on an Xbox issue. Now, Phil Spencer said, and I'm paraphrasing, that these games will be reviewed on a case-by-case basis for exclusivity. So I made myself a little list, and I went line by line on each game on why I think that game will be exclusive or not to Xbox. So how this is gonna work, we're gonna rate the games on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being multi-platform and 10 being exclusive. Also, I would show you the list, but my handwriting is terrible. I probably should have been a doctor in another life. First up is the Wolfenstein franchise. Now, I rated this a 2. Now, I rated this franchise a 2 on the scale of exclusivity, which we're gonna call it from now on, because this game is as old as time. No, it's not that old, but it's older than me. It's been out since 1981. It's been on every platform known to man. It's even been on the Amiga 1200 and the Atari Jaguar. Also, the last couple of entries in Wolfenstein haven't sold that well, so I don't see why Xbox would remove a possible revenue source for something that wasn't already doing well. Next up is the Elder Scrolls 6. Now, I rated this a 9. I'm almost positive that this game will be an exclusive to Xbox, and here's why. Now, this franchise is beloved, and Elder Scrolls 6 is highly anticipated and will probably sell like gangbusters. That is something that the Xbox needs desperately. This franchise even has roots as a previous Xbox exclusive, as Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind was only on the Xbox and PC back in the day. So with a system seller game in its grasp, I don't see how Xbox lets the Elder Scrolls 6 go to other platforms. But we don't know when this game is going to release. It could be 2022 and it could be later. For all we know right now, Todd Howard could be focusing on bringing Skyrim to a pregnancy test instead of working on Elder Scrolls 6. And actually, now that I sit here and think about it, I'm going to bump this up to an actual 10 and say that this game is definitely 100% going to be exclusive. Next up is the Fallout franchise. Now, I have 3 different ratings because 3 different potential games could release for this franchise. If they release a game in the Fallout 76 vein, then that game is going to get a 1 on the scale of exclusivity. It's going to be an MMO, and they're going to need a lot of players, and crossplay is the big thing here. When it comes to games as a service, you never want to limit yourself, so the more options, the better. If they release a remaster, which I can see happening because now you have all these studios under your belt, and Fallout 2 or Fallout 1 or New Vegas are prime for remasters. So I listed a potential remaster at a 4. Because people have already played this game before and you want it on as many platforms as possible. However, you can always say, hey, you want to play Fallout New Vegas with those updated graphics, baby? Come to Xbox. It's the only place you can get it. So I'm going to give it a 4. Also, I'm not going to say scale of exclusivity very much more because it's hard to say. And that leaves Fallout 5. Now, I'm not going to lie, I had this at a 9, but I'm going to bump it up to a 10 on the mighty scale of exclusivity because I'm going to stick by my predictions, and if I'm going to be wrong, I'm going to be loud wrong. Now, I'm going to cheat a little bit here and lump Prey, The Evil Within, and Dishonored all into one category. Now, I'm lumping these all together not because they're bad games, but because commercially, they did terrible. Now, terrible is a relative term when it comes to expectations for a AAA game. Yes, they sold in the millions, but when it comes to AAA, in order to recoup your money, you need a couple million. Sales were so bad that the Dishonored franchise is currently on hiatus from further development. Now, things may have changed when Xbox purchased Bethesda, but we don't know. So with all that being said, I'm putting these games at a 1 on the scale of exclusivity. I personally believe for these games to succeed in the future, you need them on as many platforms as possible, and I'm sure Xbox sees the same thing. Next up is Doom. Now this is a highly acclaimed series, again, been out for a long time, and its latest entry, Doom Eternal, is raved about and also sold pretty well. So therefore, I'm gonna give Doom an 8 on the scale of exclusivity. The only reason I'm not giving this game a 10 is because it's been out since 1993 and has been on God knows how many platforms. So I can easily see them saying, hey, let's keep it that way. But if you keep it exclusive to Xbox, you can now corner the first-person shooter market with Halo and Doom. I think it would be really appealing if the only console that you can play Doom and Halo on was Xbox. And with all those franchises covered, that only leaves one game left. The game we know the least about, Starfield. I'm gonna go with a bit of a cop-out answer here. I'm gonna go with a 1 or a 10. It could be a 1 if it's a live service game, a 10 if it's an offline RPG game. And I know some of you are like, why would it be an online game? They do offline RPGs. When I first saw the trailer, the first thing that popped in my head was Destiny competitor. So if they go down that route, definitely gonna be on every platform available. But if it's in that same vein of RPG games that Bethesda is well known for, it's a 10. It's not coming to anything else except for PC and Xbox. I'm sorry, PS5 people, that's just the way it is. And to be honest, this game has a lot of hype and we don't know a goddamn thing about it. So this could be a game that you might not even want to play. So those are my thoughts on the games that I think are gonna be exclusive and not exclusive to Xbox. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And if you made it this far, I want to say thank you, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel as it helps us out on our road to whatever. Until next time, I'm CapiTance. Deuces.